we we got the idea from friends of ours, from actually old time grape customers. Um, when we started growing grapes in the 70s, we used to sell to home winemakers.
Hmm.
One of the families that we sold to was very Italian. So the deal was we would deliver the grapes, we'd help them carry them down their little basement stairs, and they put it in their barrels and ferment it into wine. And afterwards, they would reward us with a little snack, right? What they called a snack. Well, it actually turned out to be like an 11-course dinner. And at the very end, they served their homemade limoncello. And we kind of fell in love with it there. And, we said, once we got the distillery, we said, you know what? We should be making this. Make Paul and Elsie proud, right?
This is the first batch, correct?
This is actually the third batch now.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first one, we released it around Thanksgiving time last year, and I guess I underestimated how good it was going to be, and it sold out in I think 3 weeks. So we've made twice more since then.
Is there a certain size batch that you make, or does that maybe that'll sort of start you into the process of it? But
Yeah, it's
how much do
usually
you
like 100 gallons or something. It's not a big volume, but we really didn't want to go all out on the first batch. Make sure that we got everything right. But yeah, I think we're on the right track.
Okay. Well, talk about really what I want is if you could is just talk a little bit about the process. How long is it? I mean,
Sure.
you're involved with the winemaking and obviously some of the other distilled products, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I'm the winemaker. I'm the distiller, so I do both. I wear two hats. But with the limoncello, we were really proud of it because it's actually 100%. Well, I mean, I guess the spirit is 100% from our place. So we grow the grapes. We made wine. Then we took the wine. We distilled it down, and it is when you're making a neutral brandy like what we use for the limoncello. It goes through the still 5 different times to try and clean it up, and we try and shoot for to make like a neutral spirit such as vodka or gin. You have to get to 95% alcohol. Well, the higher you go up on that scale, the harder it is, and the more effort it takes. We don't go all the way to 95. We keep a little bit of the brandy flavor in it. So we'll go to like 92, 93. And then after that, once you have the neutral spirit, it's really just selecting the right lemons. And basically, all you do is you use the zest. We buy, I think we brought like 8 crates of lemons, and all we did was peel them and take the rinds off them. So goes through a little soak, and after that, we'll sweeten it and proof it down. Get it to something where it's not so hot and alcoholic, something in like the 30% range.
How long of a process then is that from beginning to when it's ready to sell?
Well, I mean, I guess if you count the growing the grapes, making the wine, I
Okay.
mean, that's a big process. But like, if we took when the wine was moved to the distillery, it's probably 1 month's time to distill it. It has to go through the still 4 to 5 times. So it's kind of heat it up, cool it down, heat it up, cool it down, and um, and then after that, um, it goes on a lemon soak, which is less than a week, and then after that, the last step is to sweeten it and proof it down, which is really just a day or two. So I guess the whole process, probably from when it's handed off to the distillery, I guess it could be done in maybe a month and a half, something like that.
Okay. So you can build your inventory at least fairly quickly.
Yeah, and it's nice. We can. One of the things that we noticed, so the lemons, of course, Clover Hill doesn't grow, but we spent a lot of time, and we've noticed that like the type of lemon is very important, and those small round ones, they don't do as well. You need the big with the thick rind, but you don't want to get any of the white, any of the pith in it. You want really just the yellow portion of the lemon zest.
Okay.
So
And then the grapes you use?
yeah. For this last batch, we used a grape variety called Vignole, and it's a sweeter. Well, we make it as a sweet white wine, but it's it tends to have some really nice flavors, kind of like pineapple, tropical fruit, that kind of stuff. And not that you get a lot of that when you distill it. Not a lot of that comes over, but you get little subtle hints.
Mm-hmm.
Vignole also has a higher acidity to it, which tends to, I think it probably works well with the limoncello. You got that crispness. People are expecting lemons. You don't want it real flat and flabby or anything like that. It has some crispness to it. So I think it's a good base for our limoncello.
Mm-hmm. Are there other grape? I guess there's other grapes you can use. Vignoles is one you were already growing there. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure you could probably use any grape variety, although it's probably going to change it. It's not going to be a night and day change, but if you really are paying attention, you might see some subtle differences.
Yeah, and it's got to be a white grape. Yes.
No, not necessarily. Everything distills. Um, the tannins don't really come over. So if you did like a Cabernet or something, that was big and bold. But it does take. If you do a red, there's a little more work. You gotta spend a little more time in the still. You gotta clean it up some more. There's more congeners, more things other than alcohol in red than there is in white.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're making a neutral spirit, you're spending all of your time getting out all of those things that you work so hard to get in it in the wine process.
Got it. Got it. I guess last thing, is there? I assume there's a number of recipes out there for how to make it, or is there one? Where do you go to figure out how to, or is it just pretty cut and dry? Just
Um, well, ours is a really unique recipe. So that family that I mentioned that we would grow grapes for. Anyway, they were nice enough to share their family recipe with us, and it was pretty interesting. I have a picture of it. It's handwritten on a piece of paper in Italian. So he translated it for me. I wrote it all out, and then we had to convert the units and this and that. But that's where ours came from. I'm sure there's not just one way to make it, but that's the one that we kind of fell in love with, and that's the way we're doing it. So.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm glad I asked.
Yeah,
because the backstory is pretty interesting. How you wound up.
It's amazing when he pulled out the paper and he showed it to me. I mean, the thing looked like it was from 1960, and it was handwritten in pencil, and it had little stains on it, and it was all in Italian. I didn't understand a word of it, so they translated it for me. But we did it over a glass of wine, so that was good.
There you go. Hey, I really appreciate you making this happen this morning. Thanks for your time. As I said, I really enjoyed it. And, I'll also mention you have a limoncello day coming up mid-July, I think, July 18th.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. So very good. Well, I appreciate you doing this. And I'd love to see. I can't wait to see it.
John, I just hopped back on here. I don't know if you're on your computer, but maybe you could just turn around and show Paul the still.
So there it is, Paul. So we got a 200-gallon kettle working capacity. We got a whiskey diamond. Then we have 2 columns here, each with 8 plates in it. And then there's our condenser. And then there's the, I can't see what I'm showing you, but there's where the parrot is, and then it goes into the little holding tank.
Excellent.
So yeah, that's where all the magic happens.
I'm looking this. I'm sort of comparing how much room that takes up to how much room the winemaking.
Well, we started with this is actually the building where the winery started. So this was our original winery when we opened in 1985, and I'm really proud of it. In 2024, we got our distillery license, and it's in that same building. So it really feels good to reuse it, to use it again for kind of its intended purpose.